right.
All right, so you're welcome to mute yourselves. Let's come down onto our backs. I do have music playing, so you can't turn that off, sorry. But if you feel like you want to listen to your own music, feel free. We're gonna come onto our backs. Let's bring our knees into our chest and just give ourselves a little massage across that low back. So I believe last week we did some fun standing stuff. I'm saying fun. It might not have felt super fun. We're gonna keep it on the mat for today. But it's cool that you have recordings so you can always refer back if you liked that. Giving yourself this little rock and roll, and then let's really nice and gently let those legs come over to the left. Your right arm can go out beside you like a T, bent like a cactus, or reaching up overhead. My left hand is just resting on top of my my top leg, but you're welcome to again open out or however you'd like to. I personally am really enjoying this top arm reaching up because I feel like it just gives me a little more length through my hip and my waist, which is definitely what I know I need right now. So taking a nice big breath in through the nose, see if you can fill up through the sides of the ribs, the waist, the hips. And then as you exhale, just let that air fall out. Don't worry about it being Pilates. Don't worry about it being anything specific. Let it just be what it is. Taking your breath in through the nose. And exhaling it out. One more time, breathing in. Breathing it out. And when you're ready, however you'd like to, you can guide those legs back to center. Your feet could totally be on the floor. You could windshield wiper if you want. And however it makes sense in your body, just allowing those legs to go over to the right. This time your left arm can go out like a T, bent like a cactus, reaching up overhead. Yeah, my right hand is on top of my top thigh, and I'm just rotated to the left. Breathing it in here. I'm going to turn that down, actually. Breathe it out. You stay where you are. I'm just going to... a little bit louder than I want it to be. There we go. And then let's bring those legs back to center again. Give yourself a little rock and roll. We're going to roll over to one side. So we're just going to do a little bit for our spine on hands and knees, but then we're going to go back onto our backs. So from hands and knees, again, you're welcome to sort of play it. It's kind of nice. I do like adding these in because I know we're doing so much sitting and typing. And I want to give our wrists an opportunity to like still build a bit of strength there. So coming onto your hands if you can. Keeping a gentle bend in those elbows. We're just going to circle our weight back. Now, tucking the toes is nice here too because you're going to get a stretch through the back of the foot. And then taking your weight all the way around to the left. Taking it forward in space. Oops, all the little hyperextended elbows. Over to the right and then back behind you. Over to the left. Just sort of allowing the weight to disperse across the whole palm. And then again, when your tailbone, when your pelvis reaches back towards your heels, if you take a little sit there, you're going to get a bit of a stretch through the feet, which is really nice. One more time, circling it around all the way. And then let's take these circles the other way. I have been playing a lot with music and movement because I teach yoga as well. And I don't like to have music that has words when I'm teaching yoga. Anyway, so I've been playing a lot with music, and a friend of mine is really into like Slipknot's one of his favorite bands, which is so outside my element of like what I listen to. So I like jokingly made him a playlist of just like the most ragey songs. And I almost, as I just changed the volume, I almost put that on instead, which is a very different vibe for what we're doing today. Letting yourself come onto hands and knees nice and centered. So again, feeling the weight of your body dispersed across that whole hand, gentle bend in those elbows, a little bit of work through the spine. So as we inhale again, lengthening through the tail, allowing that elongation to ripple up through the top of the spine, opening the chest up through the hands. And then as you breathe out, let's go from the head this time. So you're going to nod your chin into your chest, start to pop up at the tops of the shoulder blades, the middle shoulder blades, the lower shoulder blades. Eventually it ripples all the way down to the low back, and you can give your glutes a little squeeze there as well. Let's lengthen out from the head today as well. So releasing the chin from the chest. It's like you're doing like a little turtle head poke through. Eventually, it relaxes through the shoulders and your chest opens. A little bit of a different coordination. Yeah, let's do that same thing again. So nodding chin to chest. So you're trying to like really super isolate. And there's this really gorgeous moment of protraction as you push the floor away. Because we're trying to isolate the vertebrae one at a time through our spines. And then again, lengthening out from our head, little bit of a poke through. This is your retraction as your shoulder blades can draw it down and in as the chest slides through. One more time, nodding chin to chest. Scooping through those upper vertebrae, middle vertebrae, upper vertebrae as we round it. You can give the glutes a little squeeze. And one more time. Oop, that was my bum. Releasing from your head. Bringing it all the way out. All right, let's flip back onto our back so you can give those wrists a little shake. And I'd like us to find those diamond legs again today to start. So we haven't done this one in a few weeks where we bring the soles of our feet together. And my hope here is that it just allows your pelvis to be really, really relaxed. It's also kind of opening through your hips here. If you'd like something to support your knees, feel free if this feels like a not safe place. We're going to take those hands and interlace our hands behind our head. And give your head a little shake, yes, a little shake, no. So we're going to start with a little bit of a crawl. We're going to add in some legs and then like, oh my gosh, Pilates, it's happening. So take a breath in through your nose. And take a breath out through your mouth. And as you're exhaling, you're blowing that air away, yeah? Inhaling through the nose, trying to expand three-dimensionally, backs and sides of the ribs. And then as you breathe out, the ribs draw down and the pelvic floor, pubic bone to coccyx draws up. So there's this sliding of the upper cavity down to the belly button, sliding of inside's lower cavity up towards belly button, and then everything opens wide, yeah? So we always want to resist bubbling up at the center. You're going to take your inhale, your elbows are off the floor, but your head is heavy. And as you exhale, you're just going to curl up and look over the horizon of your toes. We're going to stay here for a second just for our little bits of housekeeping. So notice as you curled up, if your bum sort of scooped underneath you, if your thighs did anything funky, can we keep the hip bones, pubic bone level? Can we keep the thighs still? And as you do that, let's stay here as we're holding. We're still breathing. You're going to inhale, still try to breathe into the backs and sides of the ribs. And as you exhale, can you think wide across your hip bones? And like maybe even poke just below your belly button and see if you can kind of get a bit of tone happening there. As you inhale, lengthen back. As you lengthen back, let those ribs draw down. And then as you exhale, nod your chin, curl up, slide the rib cage, pelvic floor draws up, wide across the low belly button. Inhale, lengthening it back. Exhale, nod your chin, curl. Inhale to lengthen. As you lengthen back, try not to pop up through the ribs. Exhale, the back side of the rib cage is sliding down towards the floor to pull you up. Inhale, lengthening back. As you exhale, the front side of the rib cage slides down to bring you forward in space. Head still stays heavy in the hands. Maybe you think about lifting your sternum up and over a beach ball, and that brings you up in space, yeah? So lots of different ways to think about how your curl is happening, but I would like to make sure we're always exhaling on the way up. Still letting those legs be heavy because, again, they're sort of letting you know if anything funky is happening here, yeah? We're going for 3. We're going for 2. Exhaling to slide up through the pelvic floor, down through those ribs. One more time, exhale up and then hold it here. Can you hold your curl? Can you fold the legs back up to center? Now this is going to be teeny tiny, but it's going to be really targeted work for your pelvis. You're going to keep your curl as best as you can. You're going to keep hip bones, pubic bone level as best as you can. Lift your left toes off the floor, but keep your left heel heavy. And as you exhale, you're going to slide your left leg away. Now, don't let your upper body drop and don't let your pelvis change. And what's going to happen is your pelvis might want to tilt, but we want to keep it level. Can you pull the left leg back in? No change through the upper body or the pelvis. Exhale, slide the left leg away. And as you do that, you have to like really anchor into the abs. Slide the left leg in. As you breathe out, I'm already shaking. That's where I'm at today. Inhale, pull the left leg in. 2 more. Now, don't let anything through the hips move. You're just lengthening out through that leg. One more time here. Exhale to slide. Pull the left leg in. As we inhale, let's let that upper body take a little break. And then exhale, curl it up. Okay, hold at your center. We're going to the right side. So look at your pelvis, keep breathing. Make sure the hip bones and the pubic bone are flat. Yeah, they're not scooped back. Glutes are not on here. Lift up through the right toes so that the right heel is anchored to the floor. And then when you're ready, can you exhale, slide the right leg away. Don't let anything change through your pelvis. Inhale to pull the right leg in. Exhale, right leg reaches away. So this is a very teeny tiny movement, right? Like seemingly to look at it, all I'm doing is sliding my leg. But it's a huge effort to keep the flexion of the abs and a huge effort to keep the stability of the hips because we don't want them to move anywhere. We're working on pelvic stability. That's your deep transverse abdominis. So we slide the right leg away. 2 more. You could always come down if holding your head up in space is just not working for you today. Last one. Exhale to reach. Pull that leg in. Flatten that right foot. Inhale, lengthen your body back. Exhale, nod your chin and curl. Inhale, lengthen body back. Exhale, low abs draw up. Now, as we work here, if you're feeling really, really nice and stable, or you want to challenge that stability, as you curl, you're going to slide your left leg away. Nothing changes in your pelvis. Pull the left leg in, lengthen back. You might have to slow it down a little bit. As you exhale, we're curling up from the core, not from the neck. Yeah, slide the right leg away. Inhale back. Keep going. So I just want to avoid a pushing of the skull forward or a gripping of the head. Yeah, the head is like so happy as a clam in your head. Kind of looks like it's in a clamshell, actually. Yeah. We want to keep the head supported in the arms like a little bit of a hammock and let the work be through the midsection. Now, again, the challenge here is that we don't want our hips to move at all. Inhale to lengthen back. And we're doing that by channeling deep in the center of our pelvis, not by gripping through our backs or by squeezing through my belly. Yeah, inhale. Exhale, curl up. I'm on my right leg. I'm going to do 1 more to each side. So 1 more to each side for you as well until you're even. Notice if one side is harder to control than the other. For me, it's my left side for sure. Pull your right leg in, pause at center once you're even. Inhale to lengthen back in space. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to lengthen it back. Exhale to curl. We're going for 3. Exhale to slide. We're going for 2. Remember, as you're curling here, we're trying not to shift anything through our low abs. 1 more time, little pulse up, or what I should say is not shift anything through our pelvis because we're using our low abs. Little pulses up here, please, for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, bring it down. You can give your legs a little rock side to side if you would like to. So again, little tiny movement there, but we're working on pelvic stability, right? So we're going to kind of up the ante a little bit. We're going to start with our legs out. So you're going to give those legs to each corner of your mat. Again, we want hip bones, pubic bone level, please. Hands behind our head. So the wider base of the legs is going to help us here. And then we're going to add lots of like super fun things. I'm flexing through my feet so I can push my heels into the floor. And I'm super zipping up through my thighs. Now, if you zip your thighs and your heels pop off, you just keep a little bit of a bend. Yeah. Thighs are on, feet are pushing down, pubic bone, hip bones are level. Hands behind our head. Let's reach our right arm up towards the ceiling. You're going to take an inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to curl up and reach your right arm towards your left foot. Now, it doesn't matter the height of the arm. It's the curl of the body. And as you do this, make sure you don't roll off of your right hip. Inhale back through center. Let's do 4 more, just reaching over to the left. Inhale back. And in fact, even though it doesn't like really matter with the hand, I'd like it if you kept reaching towards like above the middle of the foot. Inhale back. Exhale up. Now notice I'm slicing through the air. So it's like I'm doing a little karate chop versus like a roll. Exhale to curl. 2 more. This is your moment to just sort of check in with your housekeeping, making sure that pelvis isn't going anywhere. Keep the thighs and the heels glued down. Bring the right hand back. Left arm reaches up as we lower. Inhale. And then exhale. Left arm reaches up and over to the right. Keep breathing. Take a pause here again. Check in with your housekeeping, with your pelvis. Yeah, we don't want to be too scooped. We want to keep the pubic bone level with the hip bones, little ladybug house space at your low back. Inhale to lengthen up to the ceiling. Exhale, nod your chin, curl, reach. We're reaching for the middle of that right foot. Inhale. We have 3 more here, please. Exhale to crisscross. So again, it's that nice slicey direction, and we're peeling off of the back of the right shoulder blade as well. Exhale to curl. 1 more time. Exhale to curl it up. Okay. Bring your hand behind your head. Inhale, lengthen back. And then exhale, curl up through center. Your legs right now are parallel. I want you to turn them out a little bit. So now my toes are reaching away. We're going to, without moving our pelvis, Can you reach the left leg out so much that it lifts up? There's like no way. My pelvis is like not stable enough to do that. Lift, 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 lift. Lower that left leg down. Anchor through that pelvis. Can you reach your right leg out in a way, but don't let that pelvis move. Lower it back down. We're going to the left leg. Keep the right side anchored. Reach out as you float up, and you have to like super zip through the belly to lift, 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 and then lower. And then again, let's go to the right leg. Remember, the choice here is the stability of your pelvis, not how high the leg goes. So can you keep that pelvis stable as you lift your right leg off and then put it down? One more time each side. Keep the pelvis stable. Keep your flexion, or if you need to come down, come down. That left leg is going to lift up, and it's going to lift without moving through my pelvis. Lower it down, right leg. See if we can lift it, lift it, lift it without anything changing. Lower it down, take a break. I don't know if that was as hard for you as it was for me. That was like very hard for me. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out. So pelvic stability here is our number one. And then who even cares if the legs move at all? Hands are going to come behind our head. Take your breath in. We're going to start with our oblique twist, so you don't maybe need an arm anymore. Now you know where you're going. Keep the legs turned out, keep them charged up. You're just going to take the curl up towards the left side. You're going to have the arm or not have the arm. It's up to you. Inhale, lengthen back through center. Let's go over to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale up and over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale up and over to the right. So if you feel like you have this stability in you, as you take your twist over to the left, can you keep your pelvis anchored and lift your left leg up? It's not happening in my body. Inhale, lengthen back. Take your twist up and over to the right. Keep your pelvis stable. Can you lift your right leg up to hover and then put it down? Inhale back through center. Exhale up and over to the left. Can you hear my voice shaking? Inhale back through center. Exhale up and over to the right. Inhale back. Taking your twist, maybe lifting the leg. But remember, it's not about how high the leg goes. It's about keeping that pelvis totally stable. Drawing up through that pelvic floor. Reaching your leg out and away. I'm exaggerating a little and not following my own advice, just so you can see the leg moving, right? Like see that I am moving in space. Whew. One more to the left. Inhale back through center. One more over to the right. Bring it back through center. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Nod your chin. Curl it up. Find your center. Keep hip bones, pubic bone level. Little pulses up at center, please. For 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one. Bring it down. Bring your knees in. You can give yourself a little rock side to side if you'd like to. Little touch more here. Now that we're like, okay, pelvic stability, it's happening. Walk those feet in so that your feet are squeezing together. Actually, let's not. Let's do a little bit of rolling first, and then we'll move into more abs. So change my mind. Your feet are going to be parallel, hip distance apart. You can bend your elbows and squeeze your hands into fists or reach them up. But wherever you are with your arms, if they're off of the floor, can you squeeze your muscles? Even if they're here, like squeeze them. If you really need more support, hands are going to come down, maybe palms face up. A little bit of rolling here just to see how things are moving now that we've turned on our abs. Plant those feet into the floor. You're starting in that neutral, and then as you breathe out, start to scoop your low back towards the floor, and that's all happening from your pelvis. Yeah, sorry, I got a little naked for you to see. So we're scooping backwards, not by using my glutes. It's like an ice cream scoop. So as I breathe out, I ice cream scoop my low abs. I push my feet into the floor, one vertebra at a time. Now my glutes kick in as I lift my hips up. At the top, I'm imagining like I'm squeezing a bit of a ball here. Those arms are still nice and tight. I'm hugging my heels up towards my glutes. Take one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, it's like I'm trying to cave in on myself as I roll back down. So it's the same idea as when we were doing that sort of cat and cow extension and release, but now we're on our backs. Take a breath in, release all the way to neutral. And then as you exhale from the low belly, scoop the low back to the floor, push the feet down. Now use your glutes. And right out of the gate, as you lift your hips up, your knees have like little air bubbles behind them, and they're lengthening up, out, and forward. Squeeze those arms, take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, keep hugging heels to glutes. Keep reaching your kneecaps forward as you scoop and draw all the way down. Few more like that, just turning on the back chain of the body. Scoop through the low belly, push the feet into the floor, lift the hips up. It's like the middle of the thigh. It's like there's a laneway there. What's that car racing? Is it drag racing where they just like shoot down the middle lane? That's like what's happening through the middle of your thighs. Roll all the way down. One more time. Breathe out, scoop it up. Remember, those arms are nice and tight as we lift our hips up. Making sure there's definitely glute here, but thinking about the relationship rib to hip. Slowly roll all the way down. And then as your low back curve massages into the floor, can you stay there for me, please? So I'm still in that scoopy place. My glutes are off right now, and I'm drawing my ribs down. Keep reaching those arms up. Keep squeezing through those arms. We're going to maybe roll up to your toes. Take a breath in. Now your legs can squeeze together. And as you breathe out, can you keep drawing the ribs down? It's like your belly button's a sinkhole and everything's trying to drive into that sinkhole. But we're still thinking wide, yeah? Please don't squeeze out your belly button. Maybe it makes sense from here to lift one leg up to a tabletop and then your second leg up to a tabletop. We are going to do little toe tappies, so I'm going to get us going, and then I'll give you other options. I'd actually quite like you to flex through your feet here, and we're still scooping, yeah? So remember, the aim of the game here is the relationship of the belly. Take a breath in. Breathe out through your mouth like you're blowing something away. That pelvic floor ice cream scoop is hollowing up towards your belly, not popping up. Hollowing up, ribs are down. We're going to take those legs, squeezing through those arms. And as you breathe out, keep the 90-degree, but start to take the left leg down and away from you. You're only going to lower like 3/4 of the way to the floor. Stay there, take a breath in, and then scoop deeper as you use your low belly strength to pull the left leg up. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, your right leg is going to scoop and hollow, scoop and hollow. Now, the more your leg moves away from you, the more you're hollowing to the floor. It doesn't actually touch. We take an inhale as we hold it, and then we exhale, scoop and pull that leg back in. Take your inhale. As you exhale, left leg goes. Inhale it here. Exhale it up. Inhale. Remember, those arms are still squeezing nice and tight. Exhale, right leg reaches away. Okay, if this is working for you, you take your breath in and then scoop and hollow, bring the leg back up. Keep going here if this is working. If this is not working for you, your toes can come back down and you're going to exhale, lift one at a time. Inhale to bring it down. Exhale to lift. That's another option, yes? Wherever you are, because we're going to build on this, you're doing one more each side. So I'm on my left leg and exhale to lower it almost to the floor, but not completely. And as that leg is hovering, I'm scooping, scooping, scooping. And then I use that scoop to lift that leg back up. One more time to my right side. As I breathe out, I'm scooping and hollowing and taking that right leg down to the floor. Take a breath in and then pull it up. Now you are going to point your toes. 90 degrees. Take a breath in. Your hands are going to come behind your head. And as you breathe out, we're going to curl. And right away, we're going to curl up and over to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lengthen back through center. Right away, up and over to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, up and over to the left. So same principles, keep going here as when our legs were long, right? As we're curling, we don't want our pelvis to be rocking and rolling. We are scooped as best as we can be so that, again, as we're curling up, everything is a sinkhole back down into the floor behind us by using the strength of our transverse, by using our obliques and our rectus abdominis. So it's a full team effort here. If your toes are on the floor, your toes are on the floor. Wherever you're going to feel the most amount of abdominal work is where I want you to be, yeah? Not so much low back and neck. Now, if this is going nice and well for you, you're going to add your toe tap. So as you curl up to the left, can you start to tap your right toes? And your toes are pointed this time. So maybe they find the floor. Maybe your right toes push into the floor and you can curl up a little bit higher. Inhale, it comes to center as you lengthen back. As you exhale, you twist up and over to the right. Maybe the left toes reach away. Maybe they find the floor. And your left toes can push down, which scoops you more and curls you up a little bit higher. So this is not fast. Inhale back. Exhale up and around and scoop. But it is spicy. Inhale back. Exhale around and scoop. Keep going. Now, if your toes are on the floor, you can do the same thing, right? You're just going to lift your left leg as you go to the left, and you're going to push down in your right toes. Lower it as you inhale down and back. Exhale to curl up and twist. So you're sort of doing like the opposite version of it, yeah? If neither of those are working, you can always keep your feet down on the floor if you're having some back stuff going on. Exhale. One more time to each side. Inhale, grand finale. Can we all meet up and over to the left? Now, whatever version of this works for you is the one you're going to do. So maybe that looks like right toes pressing down, left leg at tabletop, belly is scooped, your hips are level, you're curling up and over. Little pulses here, please. Up and over to the left for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Can you stay up as you pull your right leg up? Take an inhale, you're at center. Lift up and over, around to the right. Maybe your left toes are down. Pick the mod that you need. Little pulses up to the right, please. For 8, remember your hips are totally level. 5, 4, 3, 2, we're not done. Pull those legs back to center. Now, if you want to really spice it up, lengthen them up and out, but keep the diagonal pretty high as you scoop your belly. Little pulses at center for 8, 7, scoop it, 6, scoop it, 5, you can do it, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it in. Give yourself a little rock side to side. I'm hoping we all felt abs there, right? If you didn't, you can privately message me later whenever you watch this and be like, Dom, I didn't feel anything. Little rock side to side. And then let's plant those feet down. Last little bit of business on our back here. Just to like really, really enjoy a little bit more glute and hamstring. Arms can be up wherever it is you needed them to be. So they could be up, they could be down, they could be down. But if your elbows or if your forearms are up in any capacity, squeeze into those arms. Feet are planted on the floor. Take your breath in, and this time you're just going to use your glutes to lift up. Now, it's really tempting to open those thighs. Can we keep them very, very parallel? So imagine like you're hugging something in with your inner thighs. We're not opening up massively through our chest. We're still using our core. It's like we're doing an upside down plank, right? Like that line, and it would be a kneeling plank. You're going to release your glutes a little bit, stick your bum out. It's like you just sort of hiccuped and forgot what you were doing, and then drive your feet into the floor, squeeze your glutes to lift up. Little hiccup to forget what you were doing, and then lift. Little hiccup and lift. Hiccup and lift. Hiccup and lift. We're going for 5, for 4. Just to get the engine revving here through the back of the legs. 2, last one, hold. Now drive the feet down, squeeze the heels to your glutes. Remember your arms can be wherever you need them to be. Can you roll up to the toes of your left foot? And again, pause. Now you still need abs here because your hips are not allowed to move. I'm going to bring my arms down because that is where my back is at today, but you can keep your arms up if you'd like to. Roll up to those toes, maybe lift the leg to a table. Maybe lift the leg out to a diagonal. Now your maybe depends on how level you can keep your pelvis. You're going to keep your left leg where it works best for you. I'm going to bring my toes down because that's, again, where my back is at today. And we're going to do those little hiccups again. So you forget where you're doing, and then you push up. Little hiccup and lift. Little hiccup and lift. Let's slow it down a little because we're only on one leg. Can we feel both of those inner thighs still drawing in? Keep your pelvis nice and stable. 3 more here for 3. You've got it for 2. 1 more time. Can you hold it wherever you are for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull your left leg in, place your left foot down at the floor, and then pause. You're back in your lifted center position. We're going to do both legs on the floor again. Little hiccup, you forgot what you were doing. There's a crease in your hips, and then remembered you're doing Pilates. Lift your glutes back up. Little bit of a break, squeeze your glutes and lift. Little forget and lift. Little forget and lift. And you're thinking about that smiley part of your bum cheek right underneath being your chief motivator here. Ribs are drawing down. All 10 toes are down into the floor. Squeeze your heels to your glutes. You're going for 5. For 4, we're feeling backs of the legs here, yeah? 3, keeping your gaze to the ceiling as much as you can. Last one, lift up and hold it. Now again, check in with your pelvis, right? You can always think about scooping here a little bit more if you need to, but definitely not lifting up through the chest tens, yeah? We're gonna find those inner thigh awareness feelings. So they're not touching, but they are hugging in. Roll up to the toes of your right foot. Maybe your right toes stay down. Maybe your right leg lifts to a table. Maybe your right leg lifts long. Your maybe, remember, depends on your hips. So find where you can control your hips. I'm going to keep my right toes down. We forget what we're doing a little bit and then lift back up. Now we can keep it a little bit slower because technically we're on one leg, right? Even if those right toes are on the floor, they're light. They're not doing very much. They're just there. And we're like super, super anchoring through that whole back left leg chain. We're going for 3. You can do it. We're going for 2. Maybe your hands are fully down. That's fine as well. One more time, lift up. Make sure that pelvis is stable. Find the inner thighs hugging in. Maybe your right leg is long. Maybe it's a table. Maybe it's toes. And we're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever that right leg is, pull it in. Place your toes down and roll all the way down. Give yourself a little windshield wiper here. So good. Bring yourself over to the left, and then let's bring ourselves up. Whew, disheveled hair. Okay. We're going to, you know what, I feel like I always start on the left, so I'm going to flip over to my right. And you can start on your right as well. Doing a little bit of work through our glutes here. So as always, if you would like to stay up a little bit higher and work a little bit more through that side plank, you can stay up on your forearm. We just want to make sure that, as we will when we're all the way down, that we're not completely relaxed into that bottom waist, yeah? You could also come all the way down onto that right arm. We're going to bend through our knees. We're going to stack our hips, and we're going to squeeze our heels together. Now, super tempting here to be like poppy outy through the ribs. Can we draw the ribs in as if we were planking, still opening up through our tail? Now I'm pointing through my toes here, and I'm squeezing through my heels right now because I just want to feel lots of tension. But we're going to open like we would open a book. So instead of a clam, you're going to take your whole thigh up and open, and then your whole leg comes back down. Your whole leg reaches up and open. Your whole leg comes back down. So it's different than a clam. We want to imagine like I'm trying to lead with my heel and the back of my thigh. They're working at the same time. Now, little bits of housekeeping here as you're opening and closing. We want to make sure that those hips stay really, really nice and stacked so they're not rolling back any in space today. You can keep your hand on your hip, and that'll be a nice indicator. Another little bit of housekeeping that you can keep an eye on yourself, which is kind of a fun tip, is just notice when your top thigh comes down where it hits your bottom thigh. If it's way, way, way far back, then chances are your hips have rolled here as well. Open it up. Bring it down. Remember, you could also be, you could totally be up on your forearm, which in my humble opinion is a lot spicier. Because of course you've got your work of your upper body, pushing that forearm down, hugging that forearm in, opening up through that top thigh, long through the spine. It is a little more work on the neck. So just find, and your low back as well. So just find what works for you. We're opening that clamshell and then bringing it back in. We're going to go for 5 here. Starting to warm up through the back of that glute. It's definitely side of your hip for sure. And I'm hoping it's kind of creeping around a little bit. Let's go for 3. Oh, it's feeling spicy. Let's go for 2. Last one here. Can you lower that leg down halfway? So it's just in the nice parallel hover now. You're going to squeeze that knee in towards your chest. And I realize I'm wearing dark colors, so I'm trying to like maybe show a little bit of skin so you can see where my leg goes here. Now, as your leg comes in, your body might curve a little bit, and that's totally cool. You're going to flex your foot and then kick that leg out so you're one long line. You can point your leg as you curl it in a little bit, and it's heading towards your shoulder or your nose, yeah, not down. And then reach it out. Although that does actually feel kind of cool. Keep it parallel. Draw the leg in, squeeze, and then exhale to reach it out. Pull it in and squeeze, and then reach it out. Now, remember, you could also, again, still be up on your forearm. Reach it out. Our goal here, and especially if you can see yourself in some capacity, is that we want to keep this leg at hip height. Pull it in. Reach out. I feel like I haven't done this fun tuck jumpy one in a little while. Let's go for 3. I like the mobility of the ankle with it as well for 2. Really push it away, push it away, push it away. One more time. Push it away and then hold it. Really flex out through that foot. Now imagine I had your ankle and I'm reaching it out and up. Keep connecting into the waist. I'm hoping this glute is starting to feel like sweet fire. We're going to do little pulses up here, please. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. That was super fun, wasn't it? We're not super done yet with that leg. It's nice and long. Can we lift it up, flex the foot, and pull it back in? Now stick your bum out tons behind you. We're going to do little circles here for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4. I'll be real. We were going to just do this all together, but I needed the break too. Last one, go the other way. 8, 7, 6. They're slow and steady. 5, long through the waist. 4, stick your glute out behind you. 3, belly stable. 2, last. 1, and bring it down. If you would like to, if you're feeling like you'd like to add a little bit of extra to this grand finale, you can find your forearm on the floor if it's not already. You could keep your knees bent and lift yourself up and find a side plank. If you'd like to keep the legs long and side plank up with legs, you can. If you would prefer to be up on your hands, you can. You can have one leg forward, whatever feels good for you. I'm going to stay up on, I'm going to come on my forearm and lift up this way. And we're here for 10. Now your glutes are super on here. 9, 8, your gaze could be up, forward, or down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. We're going to come onto hands and knees. I really did not wear, I have I have 2 gray tie shirts, and one ties and stays and the other doesn't. And I always forget until I start moving which one is the one that stays and which one doesn't. So I apologize. Up to you if you'd like to be in more of a kneeling plank scenario, or if you'd like to have your knees right underneath you. We're going to do a little bit of push-up work here. So obviously if your knees are in, you're going to have a little more support. If your legs are back and you're kneeling, you're going to have a little bit more effort through the arms. But wherever you are, before we do anything else, can you take your fingertips and spin them in a little bit? Just a little bit. And then you're pushing the floor away, drawing the arms like they're trying to pull away from each other, and hugging the heels of the hands down. So we're nice and long through our spine. 3 super duper slow counts, and squeeze your glutes wherever you are. Lower down to your elbows. Move on a little diagonal for 3. Now I'm trying to stay wide through my chest. 2, 1, and then push up. Down for 3, down for 2, down for 1. Strong push. Keep going. You could be on like a couch here, 2, 1, or a bench. You could be up against a wall. 3, 2, 1. Strong push. Keep going. The higher up you are in space, the less gravity, right? So a little bit less work through the wrists and the neck and the shoulders. 1, push up, depending on how your body feels with that. 3, 2, 1, push. 3, 2, 1, strong push. One more time. 3, 2, 1, strong push. Spin your fingers back. Maybe you hold a kneeling plank. Maybe you come up into a full plank. Holding here for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, 5. Wherever you are. 4, charge it up. 3, 2, last 1. Bring it down. If it serves you to take a shell stretch or child's pose here, please feel free. If you'd like to flip onto your back, you can. Nice breaths in and out. Let's ripple ourselves all the way up, and we'll come to our second side. So onto that left forearm, if you would like to. The legs are bent. So just not like beach vacation type of relaxing, right? We're lifting up so that forearm is driving down, squeezing the forearm in, opening through the collarbones. You could also be all the way down on that arm. We're stacking through here. I'll just get like a smidgen naked for you so you can see. We're stacking up through those hips. So top hip is stacked on top of the left. Tailbone is reaching out, tempting to splay through the ribs as we stick the bum out. So Draw the rib cage in. We're lifting the whole leg. So before we do that, can you just like squeeze the heels together and just feel how that turns muscles on? Keep the tension. And then as you lift, it's like you're opening a newspaper, right? So we're trying to lead the way with the back of the thigh and with the heel. We don't want it to sort of hang out with that, without us. Bring that leg down. It just taps nice and delicately. And then we lift it up. Lowering it down. Just a little kiss. And then exhaling it up. So we want to keep the energy of the tailbone reaching back behind us. This is the side of my back that's not super thrilled. So I'm going to keep it pretty low, but you work in your range, right? Also, just like fun reminders, right? Like I forget to say that if your back's bothering you, don't lift so high. So if your back's bothering you, don't lift so high. You could still, of course, be up on your forearms. You're adding a little more work through the whole entire upper body because remember, you're driving the forearm and hugging it in through the side of the waist, lengthening through the neck. So there is a little more work there, but we just don't want to hunch into those shoulders. Yeah, we want to keep wide, keeping this pretty wide and free as your base of support. Lifting it up and bringing it down. So starting to feel the outside of the hip for surezies. Maybe it's sort of starting to round across to that glute. Seeing if you can maybe even fire into the glute before the thigh lifts. Maybe that does some really great things for you. Great things being shaky, glute tensiony things. Lifting it up. Do 2 more here. Checking in with the space of the knees as you lower. They might not be perfect. Like there will be a little bit of leeway there, but just not super far back. Lift the leg up and then lower it so it's halfway now. Now this is where we do that little tuck so your body can curl here for sure. My knee is heading towards my chest, center of chest or upper shoulder, and then flex that foot, push that leg away, but keep it at hip height. Point your toes, squeeze the leg in, maybe round through your spine a bit, flex your foot and push that leg away. And of course, you could still totally be up here. You're just going to make sure as the leg comes in that you don't collapse down and then flex and push. Although that would be like a really cool thing to do for your shoulder, but we're just not going to do that today. Bring it in, little tuck jumpy squeeze here. Flex your foot like you're pushing something away. Our major goal here is to keep that leg like it's hovering against water so that it's not lifting and lowering in space. Feeling the outside of that bum. Knowing that we can do hard things. And I'm saying that to myself, for myself, as much as I'm saying it for you and to you. When you kick that leg out, can you give it a really good squeeze through that whole quad? Let's go for 2. Adding in that ankle, dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, or a point and a flex. Last one here. Reach that leg out nice and long. Now flex out through that foot. Imagine that I have your ankle here and I'm pulling your leg away. Lift it up a little bit higher than you want to. Zip up through your thigh or maybe a micro bend in your knee is needed. Little pulses up through that foot for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down for a quick little break because I know I need that. And then we're going to lift that leg back up, bend it in so it's in that little bit of a hovered stack, and we're going for circles here for 8. I'm going to move my knee down a little bit so you can see the shape. 7, 6, yeah, but it's hovered over here. 5, 4, we're embracing the fire. 3, because I'm hoping it's fiery for you. 2, 1, let's go the other way. 8, 7, belly stable. 6, you've got it. 5, maybe you have some shaking. 4, I know that I do. 3, you can do it. For 2, we're so close. Last one, bring it down. If you'd like to add a side plank to that grand finale, you totally can. So you can be up on your forearm. You could keep your knees stacked, lifting up this way. You could lift your legs. You could be on a hand, have one foot in front if you'd like to, or stacked this way or stacked this way. Whatever makes the most sense for you, that's where you're going to be for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, squeezing through those glutes. 5, you can do it. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring it down. Flipping ourselves over so we can do some pushy uppies on our other side. So walking your hands, walk them a little bit wider, but still spin them in. So wider than they were before, but still a little finger spin in, just so we don't like compromise our shoulder and our elbow. So a little bit wider than you were, still spun in. User's choice. Yeah, you pick where you want to be. If you want to be kneeling with like a kneeling plank, you could have your body in more of a quadruped. If you're feeling really stable, and I think I forgot to say this on the first side, and you want to be in a full plank here, you can be. I just want you to watch for really rounding. Yeah, I don't want us really round. We want to be one planky line. Hence called a plank. Here we go. 3 counts down, please. 3, 2. Now notice I'm not going all the way. I'm just going about half, and then strong push up. Down for 3. My glutes are so on here. 1, push up. Down for 3. I'm not crouching shoulders to my earlobes. That's really painful. I'm trying to hug the heels of my hands down towards my knees, even as I'm pushing, hugging them down. So I'm kind of pulling myself forward, which keeps my collarbones open. Keep going. 3. You could be up on a couch or a bench here. Push up. Or again, you could be against the wall. 3, 2, 1, strong push. Whatever works for you. Let's do it. 3 more all together for 3, 2, 1, strong push. Down for 3, 2, 1, strong push. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Push it up and then find your plank. Now, I'm going to ask, we're going to do like a fun arm thing here. So if your knees are on the floor to plank here, can you separate them? If you're up in a full plank, walk your feet a little bit wider than your hips. I'm going to stay down on my knees. Now, lengthening through the spine. Remember, your glutes are on. Our first priority is to push the floor away, hug the hands wide, hug heels of hands down to knees. Can you maybe, without moving too much, take your right hand and tap your left shoulder and then put it back down? Pause, make sure we haven't done anything funky. Reset your home base. And then left hand to right shoulder and then bring it down. Pause. Right hand to left shoulder, tap it down. Left hand to right shoulder. And the idea here is that we do this without too much moving, which you'll see is a struggle for me too, even with my knees down. One more tap to each side. Right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder, and then bring yourself down, push yourself back, take a child's pose. Breathe it in here. Side out. Let's just take a little side bend. So if you're happy belly down like this, walk your hands over to the right. If this is a lot in your knees and you don't want to stay like this, then just flip onto your back and take a twist with your knees to the right. Breathing it in, breathing it out. Bring yourself back through center, whether your hands or your legs are moving, and then take your stretch the other way. Bring yourself back up. Bring yourself all the way up. We're going to just do a little kneeling thing for your quads here. So if you know that you have joints that like a little bit of extra support, I know that I do, you can fold your mat up a whole bunch, or you can take a blanket or a pillow, grab something off of your couch just to support you here, yeah? Okay, so coming up, I'm going to go sideways. We're going to take our hands. So my head is chopped off a little bit, but I'm still here. We're going to take our arms and cross them over our chest to start. And then when we did that shoulder bridge, I talked about, or I quickly mentioned that you could really think about squeezing. I want you to really think about squeezing and tucking underneath here, yeah? So I'm not leading with my bum back. I'm like super, super under, and lots of abs here, yeah? You kind of want to feel like you're doing a little baby ab curl. Toes can be tucked or untucked. I like my toes down. Really nice and tall, scooping through. Make sure those glutes are already turned on. We're going to do a little bit of a hinge. Now freeze here. I want you to kind of look down towards your pubic bone and notice if your hips did anything funky. We want to keep them totally parallel. You're scooping pubic bone forward. Take one more breath in and bring yourself all the way up. We're leading from the back of the leg. Start to slowly scoop, scoop, scoop. Now the more back you go, the more you're going to scoop. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. This whole chain brings you back up. Take a breath in. Scoop and draw it back. Hold it there for 3, for 2, for 1. Keep using your abs, keep using back chain to pull yourself up. I'm not going that far. Keep going because, again, I have some stuff in my back today, but you might be able to go like really far back. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. 2 more times. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, glutes are on here. We're opening through the hip by charging up the backs of the legs. This is tricky, right? Because our quads are working, but they're working in a lengthened place. 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. 1 more time. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, hinging it back, holding it here for 3, holding it here for 2, holding it here for 1. Bring it all the way up. Take a little seat. We are definitely doing that again, but we're going to add a little bit extra to it. I had water. Oh, it's over there. We're going to add a little bit extra to it. You could decide, hey, I hate that and I don't want to do it. And I will say, you are making choices for your body, and that's totally fine. So, my quads are still like ding, 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 ding. Okay, let's bring ourselves up. Separate it through. I will give you a second option once we get into our sort of grand finale here. So we're up nice and tall. Hands are still across. We're thinking about tucking under actively. I'm not just like thrusting our pelvis. This doesn't look like a fantastic, happy place for my back, right? So we want to be upright. We want to be actively scooping. Hands across our chest. Take your breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to hinge and you're going to hold. Now, if holding is not an option for you, you're going to sit and hover. That's an option as well. Yeah. Still a lot of work. Okay. Can you open your arms out? And you're just going to twist your upper body around to the right. Can you lean? Can you reach your right arm a little bit more, but scoop through your pelvis a little bit more, and then close your arms back up. Take a breath in. Left arm leads the way as you twist your upper body around to the left. Lean into the left side, but keep scooping through your pelvis. Take a breath in, and then bring yourself back to center. 1 more time, breathe in. Right arm leads the way as we twist. Remember, you could be here too, but oh God, I feel like that's more work. We're going to hold here. We're going to do 8 bicep curls for 8. And can you squeeze your muscles the whole time? 7, your hips are still both forward. For 6, I'm leaning, leaning, leaning. For 5, I'm long through my spine. For 4, how strong we are. For 3, if you have hand weights at home, you could totally use them here. For 2, last 1, are your glutes still on? Open those arms, bring them back to center. Do not take a break. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Keep checking in with the scoop, with the abs, with the quads. Left arm opens out to the left. The upper body rotates, but the hips stay forward. We're leaning into that back left arm. Bicep curls here, please, for 8. Reach them up. Bicep curls, 7. Now we're using body weight for bicep curls. Yeah, 6. So like really show off your muscles here. For 5. Even when you lengthen them, keep them toned. 4. For 3. I'm sweating. For 2. Last 1, open the arms, bring them to center, bring yourself all the way up, sit down on your legs. If you feel like you'd like a little bit of a counter to that, and it feels nice in your body, you can keep your thighs down. So I'm sitting on my heels and I'm just walking my hands back. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Take a breath in. Breathe it out. And you can just come over to one side. Bring yourself all the way up here. Now, if you're happy sitting on your heels like this still, you're welcome to stay like that. If you feel like coming up is a better option for you, feel free to do that. And I just want to finish with a little bit of mobilizing through our back a little bit to just get into those rhomboid muscles as well as our erector spinae muscles. So you're going to reach your arms forward, squeeze into your arms, sitting up nice and tall. And I'm trying to stack my chest on top of my hips, right? So I'm not popping forward, I'm drawing in. We're going to take those arms that are turned on nice and strong, and we're going to reach the shoulders forward, or reach the arms forward, but the arms are straight. Can you lift your shoulders up to your ears, and then think about the top part of your spine, of your scapula, squeezing in, sliding down like it's trying to sandwich your spine, It goes as low as it can, and then it starts to circle down and it comes forward. The arm muscles are on. Lifting the shoulders up, but feel like it's happening from behind you. The top spine part of your scapula squeezes together, and then it like massages. Those muscles are going to massage down your spine. They circle down at their lowest point. Those arms are still strong. Then they reach forward. They come up, and then they squeeze back. Oh, crunch, 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 crunch. Bring it around and forward. Lift it up. Remember, it's all happening from your scapula. Squeeze your scapula. Oh, I'm actually wearing a good shirt to maybe show this. Squeeze it in. Slide it down. Reach it forward. Lift it up. It's all happening from behind. Squeeze and massage your spine down. And then one more time, lift it up. Squeeze them in. Slide them down. And then let your shoulders relax. If you're still happy kneeling up, you're welcome to stay up. If you'd like to sit down cross-legged, we're just going to do a little side bend. So inhale, your right arm comes up, and then exhale it, side bend it over. Take a nice breath in here. Breathe it out. The left arm comes up. Side bend over. Bring it up. If you'd like to do a quick little stretch for your glutes, cross your right leg in front of your left, and then melt yourself down, or you can find like a seated figure 4 and rock yourself this way as well. It's a great one. So you work through the whole back chain of your body in different capacities, which is always cool to challenge it in different ways. You work through your whole abdominal system. We worked through our back muscles. We worked through our arms. We worked through flexion, extension, rotation, lateral flexion, all of those things. So you worked really nice and hard today. You can bring yourself up and switch legs. So left can come over, right and give yourself a little rock, or you could be cross-legged and fold forward. Thank you for bearing with me with my back today too. Bring that leg down, inhale, reach your arms up. Give yourself a squeeze. As always, thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice whenever it is that you're taking this class, however many times you're taking this class. And I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.